This is Townsquare Sunday on 1420 WBSM, a place where people come together to talk about some of the good things happening in and around New Bedford. A place to share, a place on the radio for the people.
Come together right now over me.
And now, the moderator of Townsquare Sunday, 1420 WBSM's Jim Phillips.
Good morning and welcome to WBSM's weekly public affairs program, Townsquare Sunday. My name is Jim Phillips. And this week we start off talking about good health and healthy hearts. My guest is Dr. Michael Rocha. He practices at Hawthorne Medical Associates in Dartmouth. But truth be told, he is New Bedford's doctor. Whether he likes that tag or not, I think you do like it, though.
I appreciate that,
Sure.
Jim. Great to be here again this morning.
All right. Now, of course, you spend a lot of your time urging area residents to join with you for healthy heart initiatives. We'll talk about that in a moment. And listen, we'll also mention you were a member of the New Bedford High School basketball team that won a state championship in 1993. That never goes away.
No, and actually we celebrated our 25th anniversary this year, and a lot of the guys got together, so it was really a lot of fun to bring back some memories.
Great. Well, you're here today in part to promote the American Heart Association's Southcoast Heart Walk, Southcoast, which happens on May 19th at UMass Dartmouth. How can folks get involved?
They can walk with their feet, and they can support the initiatives, which are really important to help our heart health. But the easiest thing to do is to go to the Southern New England American Heart Association site on the internet, and you can find out how to join. And also there is a New Bedford Wellness Initiative group, Heart Walk group. People are welcome to join us. That's also easy to be found on the website.
Now, these events are held around the nation, Dr. Roach, as you know. They raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm sure some people may say, well, where does that money really go? Where does it go?
Yeah, so there's many initiatives that, in especially educating the community about heart disease and also stroke. So one of the things is that it's not just the American Heart Association, but it's the American Heart Association Stroke Association. And, you know, I think that what we realize is that we need to make sure that people know what to look out for. If they're having something, if they're having an event, to make sure that they're aware and get themselves checked out quickly, but also to try to give opportunities for people to be healthier. And, you know, some of the different things, the Heart Association is involved in trying to get, you know, kids healthier. They're working on really an initiative about focusing in on healthy lifestyles. I think it's called the Healthy 7, which is really out there. They've currently got a new initiative talking about patients that struggle with heart failure called Heart Failure Path. And they are also, you know, again, very involved oftentimes with getting defibrillators into some of the schools. So there's a lot of things, and they also work on the policy end of things. So I think that some things that people see, other things that the Heart Association does that people don't see, and, you know, importantly, these walks and some of these events bring an awareness, coming together, sharing of stories, which I think is so critically important for people to be able to share those stories of recovery, of prevention, and also to remember some of those people that we've lost to heart disease or strokes, because that's important too, because there's a little bit of a memorial to, you know, those people that, you know, that unfortunately succumbed to the diseases.
Okay, so it's American Heart Association Southcoast Heart Walk website. You just, you know, put that in your search engine, and you'll be able to find it very easily. And again, yeah, you got to raise some money to be in this event, but you can get a cool T-shirt. You can show us what that is, Doc.
Absolutely. Well, this is one of the Heart Walk T-shirts. I believe this was from last year. But if people sign up and participate at a certain level, they'll be able to get another Heart Walk T-shirt. And you know, I think that it's this year's idea is that it's not just about a walk, it's about a movement. And I think one of the things is that we kind of look towards this event as being, you know, the walk, but the Heart Association is looking to do more things, not just the walk, and continuous things throughout the year. So we have the walk at UMass Dartmouth on May 19th, but there's also another walk in Providence on June 3rd. So there are opportunities out there and a lot of different events that I think that we can really bring people together and have the conversations and share the stories that are necessary to improve our overall health and well-being in our community.
So on the 19th at UMass Dartmouth, set the scene for us. Tell us what people are going to experience when they arrive.
So on the 19th, people kind of start to gather around 8 o'clock in the morning. There's a stage. There are the various groups that are involved. We'll have tables with information. There will be sign-in for people that may not have signed in before the event. They can still show up and walk-in sign-ups are welcome. And there'll be there'll be a short presentation and some stories that will be shared at the Heart Walk. And also, there'll be some music. There'll be live music there. And so we're excited to have that. There'll be a brass band that will be kicking off the Heart Walk and kind of leading a parade. And really, it should be kind of a celebration. In the last couple of years, that's really what it has been. It's been an opportunity to come together and to really to have a good time, because it has to be fun.
When you hear the term heart attack, sadly, some of these occasions are fatal, but many are not. Many are not, and people survive, come back, and through the work of obviously the medical community and organizations like the American Heart Association, people can live full lives. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons behind that. I assume you'll be walking that day with a team of folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be walking. We'll have a group of us from the New Bedford Wellness Initiative, and there'll be groups from all the major health organizations, including Southcoast Health, Hawthorne Medical, the Health Center, and various other local community groups will be walking. We look to have over 1,000 people again this year walking with us.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday on WBSM. My guest is Dr. Michael Rocha, New Bedford's doctor, we call him, and an avid supporter of the American Heart Association. Doc, how prevalent is heart disease here on the South Coast?
Yes.
Probably pretty prevalent.
It's very prevalent. It's still the #1 killer in our community. And, one of the things is a study that was done out of Tufts that looks at, our population of people in our community in New Bedford and actually all the surrounding communities, but they break it down by town and city and they look to see what the various kinds of heart disease. We are probably, for heart attacks, 24th in the state in New Bedford. Based on that Tufts study, we also have, people that may not have had heart attacks, but may have significant narrowings to some of their arteries of their heart, are about 12th or 14th in the state. And we also have some issues with some of those risk factors. We have a lot of high people in our community with high blood pressure. Some people that know it, other people that don't. It's one of those silent things, silent diseases. And we've tried to really bring awareness over the last year in getting people to know their numbers, know what their blood sugar is, know what their blood pressure numbers are, and know what their cholesterol is, because those are the things that lead or can lead to heart disease or strokes, and we want to make sure that people are doing something about that.
We don't want to paint a picture of there being all gloom.
No, absolutely not.
There have been so many amazing advances in the fight against heart disease. Isn't that so?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, when a person had a heart attack in the 1960s or 1970s, we're talking about a completely different situation now. Most people do survive their heart attacks, and with the advent of a lot of our technologies, including stents, bypass surgery, and various devices, people are living longer and getting back in the game much quicker. Again, if a person came in with a heart attack back in 50 years ago, they were in the hospital for an extended period of time. So people are now out of the hospital sometimes in just a couple of days, and back on their feet, and also the ability to get people back going again with cardiac rehab, which there's great cardiac rehab services in our communities. Those things are very important for getting people back moving after they may have had a heart attack.
I guess the point that I want to make here is all the medical stuff is fine. We have some terrific doctors in this part of the state, and they're doing their job, as there are doctors all over the state really doing their job. But to be healthy, you have to start. You're the one that has to take that step. I think that's something you've always stressed.
Absolutely. And you know, just this week, even in the last couple of days, I've had people that came in. There's one person this week that's lost 30 pounds over just a couple of months, and he said, you know, I wish I listened before, and that, you know, he's been able to really do with what some of the things that we can do are very simple: eating a healthy diet, and doing some exercise, and really also undervalued is our stress and dealing with the stress, because it's not just the indirect, you know, ways that we deal with our stress, maybe stress eating or whatever, but it's the direct impact that stress has on us. So I think that it's important for us to really balance our lives, and when we're balanced, it's good. What's good for our body is good for our mind at the same time.
Right. So we're gonna. Really, my next question was, give us 3 things people can do in New Bedford to become more heart healthy.
Yep.
And you've kind of touched on it. Eat better, lessen the stress in your life. The third point was exercise, I believe.
Yeah, I almost, in terms of exercise, I've changed the conversation a little bit, because sometimes exercise, people think, oh, they got to go to the gym, and it's move your body. People don't realize it. Just gardening is moderate activity. Dancing, put the music on, you know, dance around your house. If you wish, but you have to find something that your body likes to move. If walking or going to the gym is not for you, find something. You know, recently there was a young person that came in, they like to swim more. Whatever it is, you have to find something that you're going to do routinely. And I think that important thing is that routine, and also doing it with people, because a lot of times if you're in a group in community, you're more apt to continue to do certain things, to maybe eat healthier, you know, to exercise more. And we do know that, you know, being in groups and being in community lowers your stress levels.
And that's very important as we move on here, as you get older. Those kinds of things are all very, very important. Okay, one more time. How can people get involved in the American Heart Association Southcoast Heart Walk?
Okay, so they can go Google search for the Southern New England American Heart Association, or Southern New England American Heart Walk 2018. They'll be able to find links to that. They can also link to the New Bedford Wellness Initiative, has a Heart Walk page as well, and you can also find us on Facebook. The Southern New England American Heart Association also has a nice Facebook site, so there's plenty of ways in which to contact or participate or get engaged.
And this event, May 19th, Saturday, May 19th, at UMass Dartmouth, should be a fun day. I guess there's different level. You can walk 2 miles or 3.5 or whatever the course is, but it's a fun day and a good way, as Dr. Rocha suggests, to get moving. Any other new initiatives you're involved in?
New initiatives, I would just say that we've actually, we've moved our walks to weekly at Buttonwood Park, 9 o'clock. So our weekly walk is actually going to be on the May 19th, is going to be at UMass Dartmouth. But typically, every other week, we're at Buttonwood Park, 9 a.m. Our Sunday program is now 9 to 1, and we've had more numbers and more opportunities and different things that we're expanded our services, so to speak. The gym's open for people to play basketball and some of the other things.
Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club in New Bedford, and that's 9 to 1 on Sundays. And, you know, I think that I'm actually very excited. This is... there is a classmate of mine, Lori Santos, Dr. Lori Santos. She's a professor at Yale, and she has the #1 course at Yale. It's, I believe it's called, online it's actually been offered as the Science of Well-Being. And she was recently featured on NBC Today, and we're going to be hosting her on June 12th at the Whaling Museum for programs, so she can talk about what she's doing. And also, we're going to be offering her the Science of Well-Being in person at the Boys and Girls Club starting on May 20th at 9 a.m. It's going to be moderated by my friend Jonathan Felix, and we're going to go take her course as a community, so to speak, to see if we can have a happier and healthier community. But I'm very excited. Lori and I went to high school together, and I think that this is a wonderful opportunity. If people don't want to do the course with us live, it can be taken for free online on Coursera. So we're very excited about this.
All right. Lots of things happening here, including the Southcoast Heart Walk, sponsored by the American Heart Association. Again, that is May 19th. It's a Saturday at UMass Dartmouth. Google the American Heart Association, the Southern New England American Heart Association, Heart Walk. I think you can get it if you Google Southcoast American Heart Association Heart Walk.
And I think it's sneheart.org. So it's sneheart.org, I think is the website.
There's the website that can get you right into it. Our thanks to Dr. Michael Rocha of Hawthorne Medical Associates for passing on his expertise and passion to get people moving and get people healthy. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come down here and speak with you.
Great. Townsquare Sunday returns in just a moment.